Yeah, sure.
Zach, where do you start with that win? I mean, how do you apply the credit?
Yeah. Um, Expected just because we got a great team, man. I love this team. I love everything about them. They didn't hesitate for 1 second after those first 2 weeks when all the noise was getting loud about the expectations. All that, they didn't let that affect them for 1 second. They just came out there and answered the bell and responded 2 consecutive weeks. And so just really proud of them on this stage against that team. That's a really good football team. They're going to win a lot of games. And I just thought they really handled every moment in this game exactly how we needed to, especially in the second half. Turnovers, capitalizing on turnovers with touchdowns, special teams stepping up big, and that was just a great way to win a Thursday night game.
Like you were in an interesting decision there with the 4th and 1 there when you're down by one.
Yeah.
Were you considering going for it? I'm
Yeah.
curious if the decision to kick there was basically you just really believe in your defense right now.
Yeah, really, it did. And so that was a tough decision. We battled that around, what to do there. Ultimately, we decided to kick it and expand that lead that way, and felt good about it.
Your defense, though, in general, I mean, do you feel like you have as much faith in them? I mean, tonight being a perfect example, is more than anything else you have on your team right now.
I've got a lot of faith in our defense. It's like comparing to children, so I'm not going to compare to the other phases, but we know that when we need them to step up, they're going to do it. Whether it was putting pressure on the quarterback, being tight in coverage, creating those turnovers they did, that's a really explosive team. They put you in a lot of different tough spots there. And so I thought we did a great job of bending, not breaking. You know, even the play that we gave up down the field, Cheeto had excellent coverage. He's right there. And they just made a play. It's going to happen when they got players like that. So just really proud of the way that the guys kept responding, and were able to help us pull it out.
Speaking of explosives, you're explosives on offense. Boyd, Chase,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. That was it. 3. Yeah. It was great. You know, it's okay. 2 of them were go routes, and TB had a route that he scored on against Arizona a couple years ago that we've kind of been saving. We've tried to get to it before. It's just tough to get to sometimes. But those 3 guys stepped up when we needed them. T on the 3rd down. That was huge. You know, that was you're staring down the barrel of another 3 and out at that point, and so they were doubling Jamar, they were doubling TB, and so T had the one-on-one against a great corner, and he got him, and we scored the touchdown. So that gave us a lot of momentum at that moment in the second quarter. Jamar's was when we needed it, right? We just got the turnover, I believe, and we needed that big play to keep going. They were challenging us. They were playing press man, and that's where Jamar steps up big on the go route. And then TB, same thing. We need some momentum, and so he ran that little corner post and made the big play there. So you can talk about those 3 guys. They deserve the credit. Our offensive line did a heck of a job. They did a heck of a job. Joe had time to make the throws he needed to make versus a good defensive line, a good pressure team. I thought our guys answered the bell versus cover 0. That was going to be big in this game. They could zero as much as any team in the league, and our guys responded with T's big play on the second play of the game, and TB with the double pass. So Kelsey, we got multiple people that can throw on this team. Joe Mixon, TB. Who knows? We'll find out next who can throw the ball as well.
Can we get your thoughts on Von Mill's 2 interceptions and the 3rd down stop by Logan Mason in
Yeah.
the fourth game?
Huge. I mean, Vaughn's picks were big, and the return was even as big because it really flipped the whole field there. You're talking about he probably picked that ball off, I'm guessing on the 15, 10-yard line. So if he stays down or they touch him, that's a field position battle you're dealing with right there. And I think we were up, I don't know, 2 or 3, maybe 5. I can't remember. But that was a big. He did a great job there. And then Logan Wilson on that 3rd and 1. I didn't see the full play, but I just saw him fit up there in the hole and make that big stop and drive him backwards. And that's Logan, man. Those 2 guys coming up big when their number's called. And it could have been Vaughn. It could have been Logan. It could have been Eli. It could have been Jesse. It could have been Sam. Anybody really on that defense steps up and makes plays, and they're not shocked by it. So just thought that they responded the right way as a whole.
Coach, was there a reason why and other than the captains?
No. Honestly, it's no. I'm scrambling before the coin toss to figure out who I want to send out there. So I just sent in.
What are the ways?
Go ahead, Alex.
What are the ways Higgins is a better player this year than he was last night?
I just think they're really smart football players. All those guys. I think it's only continuing to improve, and that's taking them to an elite level. I think they do a great job with their communication to our staff, also on this guy's playing me like this. Unbelievable feedback. Not receivers shouting, throw me this. Not at all. It's I can get this guy on this. very unselfish, you know, and so again, it can be anybody in any week that gets a lot of the targets or maybe doesn't get a lot of targets, and those guys are just so unselfish. Just I love those guys.
This the atmosphere too. You said prime time, but you got to out there, saw the crowd, and had to say,
Yeah.
you take stock for a minute about where you were 2 years ago, or and like how far you come. Like, what is there a moment you can reflect before the game, or you do that now? I mean, what did today mean to you personally?
Yeah. Just that we've worked really hard to get to where we're at, and again, I've said this before, but the people here just want to support this team and they want to support a winner. We owe it to them to be a winner, and they're here for us. We've always felt it. Shows up when you're watching cut-ups from a couple years ago that deservedly so there weren't many people there, and now we've come this far. We've earned it. We put in the work. Our guys have done everything to give this fan base something to cheer about, and they've showed up and answered the bell as well. And these primetime games are special here, you know, and we just have tremendous fan base. Love them to death. I know our players appreciate that. I know our coaches appreciate that. Just best fan. I mean, really, where else would you rather be? In Cincinnati, Ohio. I'd rather be here.
Tua's injury, did you get up and ready to regroup? I mean, what was that? You know, long break, obviously,
Yeah.
quiet and kind of
Yeah.
scary turn there. And then did you pull Josh aside and talk to him at all? I mean, what was that moment like? My guys kind of in on the hip too. For you guys.
Yeah, it's a heavy moment. He's a guy with tremendous character, and you hate to see that happen. It's a tough moment for everybody, you know, especially them. And then it's a third and long that you got to come out there and respond to. So I won't say that there's in-depth conversations going on there, you know. But certainly think about Tua, and that's a horrible thing to see.
Zach, what does it say about your team that they seem to thrive and best on best, big spot, prime time kind of moments?
Yeah, because these guys are championship caliber players. They're winners, but they're not talented guys that just get by. They're talented guys that their work ethic matches their talent, and so they have the ability to reach their full potential. And it's a team that you just love to coach.
I think you touched on Von Bell having the two picks and the big stop from Wilson, but Jesse Bates had a game-saving tackle on Randy Mostert.
Yeah.
I think he led the team in tackles. I mean, what can you say about his leadership with just how he played on and off the field?
Yeah, Jesse's A plus. And I've said this before. We've got the best safety tandem in the league. I'll put our secondary against it. I'll put our defense up against anybody's. You know, if I'm going to go that far with it. And it's a great point, you know, because again, Vaughn made those great plays that turned the game for us. Jesse made some big tackles. But you look at a lot of guys, like I looked 2 weeks ago, or last week when we played the Jets, Cheeto. I didn't give a game ball to him after game because I give him to guys with turnovers and guys that have all this stat. He just didn't give up completions. And so at what point is a guy going to get a game ball when you just keep throwing at him? It's incomplete over and over. And so we've got so many guys that you're right that maybe don't get the stat production, but their role is so critical to the success of others. And they allow everybody else to kind of get the credit. And it's just such a great unit as a whole.
On the other side,
Go ahead. I'll let you go, and then I'll hit you back.
on the other side of the ball, how fitting was it to have Hayden Hurst have that big catch in the first drive and then cap it off with a touchdown where it just essentially kind of started and ended with him there?
Yep. Hayden brings a lot of energy to the unit. You know, he feeds off that emotion. He had a couple plays. He had that one. He had a really tough catch going towards our tunnel on a little play action pass. We hit him double coverage, and he did a great job with that play. And then he caught the goal line pass that you're mentioning there. So Hayden's been a great asset for us.
How do your 5 guys in the secondary work so well together?
They are unselfish. They're great communicators. They're always making sure everybody's got the call. They do a great job. Man, if you give up a play, which is going to happen in this league, just letting it go and getting on to the next play, you don't see guys dejected or point fingers. That's the sign of a great unit, is the lack of finger pointing, and they pick each other up.
So how important was the 57-yard field goal, given the fact
Yep.
you have Cal in there, and you don't obviously have the normal one snapper in there
Yeah.
park, and you just decided to still go for it there?
Yeah.
Thought about it?
No, trust that unit. Trust Evan. Don't think twice about Cal. To be honest with you, he's done a great job for us. It's a decision you got to make. Just because a guy can make a 57-yarder, it doesn't mean that it's 100% that you're going to make, and it flips the field position. So those are things you got to take into the conversation. Ultimately, he made us look good there. But again, if it doesn't go our way, that's a significant field change, momentum change. It's a sudden change. You know, it's just no different than getting a sack fumble right there. So we put it on Evan, and Evan came through for us.
There's a good shot at the end of the broadcast of Burrow clear at the end with his O line. His confidence, obviously, he's allowed to see him all the way through the game tonight. Just when things were going
Yeah,
well.
Joe was lights out. He was seeing it really well. He was giving his guys an opportunity. It's man coverage. You're playing man coverage. You got to beat man coverage, and we got the guys to do it. We had the protection to match it. We got the quarterback that's what he wants to see. Give me man coverage. Let me fit it in tight windows and tough spots, and you know. So I proud of all the way that all those guys stepped up. Go ahead, Paul.
Now, you ran it a lot tonight, not much.
Yeah.
Didn't go very well. Was that harder to continue to call that, and why did you continue to call runs as the game went on?
Well, there's spots where, man, it's just you get jammed, man, and it's just another inch, and we're bursting through there. And sometimes that's the way it goes early on. As you're getting 2, 3, it's tough, but the dam's gonna break. I've said this before, and so you just don't want to give up on it. And even though I've got so much faith in our passing game that yeah, you can throw it every snap, but at some point those guys got to be able to come off the ball and hit guys in the run game and help our play action pass and help our. We ran a couple keepers and it even still gives us a chance on TB's play. The run action still helps us do some other things, but again, I've got confidence that we'll get going. And this was watch the tape, and you're not gonna see a lot of runs show up against the Miami Dolphins in the first 3 weeks. It's just how it is, you know, and that's maybe why Buffalo threw it as many times as they did, because you watch the tape. It's a tough unit. It's a good front. They've been there a while together, and so the challenge is that they load up the front. They play man coverage. You got to be man coverage.
What did you think of that being said of Joe's touchdown run, though?
Yeah, awesome. You know, so it's just a great, again, momentum boost for us. That moment when you see the pile drive like that, running his feet, that's big. You know, and it's just like the first win, ripping that Band-Aid off, getting your first touchdown of the year is important. You know, and so I was happy for Joe that was able to happen. He earned that one.
Awesome. Appreciate it.